Hello, and welcome to my world building and design series, where I'm trying to slow down that little bit more to bring a little bit more life into my designs. I always love the idea of giving even the simplest object a little bit of backstory, because it feels like it just brings it that little bit more to life. So I want to start the series off with doing something a little bit more simple. So I thought, why not some rock goblins? Simple shapes, big, medium, small, with a hint of nature. Recently, I was playing the game Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It's a big title. And I really enjoyed the characters in the Gestrels. They were small little creatures, but had a lot of personality and life to them. And that's where I sort of came up with these guys a little bit more. Small little guys, but they're fun. And so idea with these guys, I was working on like the big, medium, small, trying to add a bit of little character to them, shapes and colors, and maybe a bit of markings on them. Are they artistic? This guy, he was supposed to be, small but powerful with his magic rock staff that he can control. So you think you're sort of safe in distance, and then he can expand his staff. The rocks expand, through gravity or his energy beams or however that may work. That was the idea coming from him. Coming into the next design, I wasn't really thinking too much of the backstory or anything like that on this one. I was more into shape carving, trying to work on my shape language and trying to push the design a little bit more. So rather than having like a general sized head, I wanted to push the head so it's quite long and large. Why settle for the small things when you can push it? With the design here as well, adding some more colors differences. So there's a purple on the bottom, so you're not having all these the same color all around all the time. Putting a bit of moss, making him more in one with nature, with the vines and grass as well. As I finished off, I wanted to add a bit of color change as well, different variation. Now for this one, I wanted to make a bit more of a larger character rather than a smaller one, as well as how more in nature he is with. So rather than having a bit of moss just covered on top, he has quite a large tree growing out of him, around him. This guy here, I think he'd be more of a gentle giant. Or he's not necessarily giant, he's definitely a gentle soul. The animals, the birds, and the bugs that would make their tree their home, he protects them. I was liking the idea of these guys being around for centuries. They're old, they're ancient, so they've been around, they've seen things. So maybe they've picked up a few trinkets or whatnot. So the idea of originally this guy, maybe he had found these trinkets, he put them in his tree and they sway in the wind like wind charms. Or maybe when he's helping people, the odd trinkets that the fellow travelers give to him, and he's like, oh, I like this, and he'll hang it in his tree. The other thing was maybe he gives the trinkets to the fellow travelers. He is offering this magical mug or vase of some sort. Who knows what it does, but he offers it. Continuing on with some more shape carving, pushing and pulling these shapes. And the idea of how do these guys move? Do they have legs? Do they have arms? Maybe this guy floats. I originally put in some circling his arms, thinking maybe I can come up with some kind of wind thing, maybe when the wind blows through and makes a whistle. But then come up with this idea of maybe you're walking through the grassy plains and you see this rock, strange looking rock, with a glowing eye. Or you don't know it's an eye, but it looks strange. And the next second it pops out of the ground, forms together, and then it spins around and chops you up. Coming back to the idea of design, not everything has to make complete sense and look normal. So maybe he has a hole in the center of him. You pull out, extract, reduce, add. You can do all these things. Have fun with it. Add some color, different color variations. These are sort of things that, when you start doing these, you can really have a lot of fun when you're doing these art. And once again, coming back to that nature side, some more moss, some vines. Maybe the vines wrap around a crystal, this crystal powers these ancient and century-old beings. Something with like a rock golem as well is it doesn't really need to make sense, so you can copy and paste it, flip it vertically. With this I come up with the idea of some kind of totem thing that sticks in the ground. Anyway guys, that's all for now. I had a lot of fun with these, and I look forward to creating more. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, comment, or subscribe. Let me know what you think, or what you'd love to see next, down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys.